Oh,
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that we were recording because we do offer our recordings in our video library. So this will be available for people to come back to for reference, and for people to share. And we do upload these to our YouTube channel. So I just wanted to make sure that we were recording before we even get into the devices. So our intro is pretty much standard. We do that every presentation, but before we get into the specific device for pet care, I just wanted to make sure we're recording. So sorry about that. So going into what is assistive technology. So AT is any item, piece of equipment, software, or app that is used to help people with disabilities, including older adults, do what they want to do. Technology can make things easier for everyone, but for people with disabilities, AT opens up possibilities and just creates more inclusive environments. Our AT definition is anywhere from low tech to high tech. Again, like using apps and software, we consider that AT. And then also if there is an item or piece of equipment that is helpful for your mental health, or even for you to do daily living activities or even outdoor recreation and hobby activities. Those are all the type of things that our program covers and that we consider AT. On the slide is an image of a doorknob handle grip. So it allows someone who is unable to grip a doorknob to twist it. It gives them a little bit more ability to open and close to twist open the doorknob. And there's also a pill organizer on the slide, and that helps with medication and pill reminders. So our first question for you, do you have a pet? And if you do, what's one word you could use to describe them? Feel free to type in the chat, use the raise hand feature, or unmute your microphone.
Happy.
Happy, okay.
Yeah, he's a
cat. Is that a cat or a dog or another pet that you would?
It's a dog, a Chihuahua.
Okay, Happy. That's a good one. A playful lab. Thanks, Renee. Laura says Adler. She would describe Adler as lovable. Reggie, lazy. Kamaji, judgmental.
Reggie and Kamaji are cats, so. And Renee says she's got a playful lab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right,
thanks for that. That's fun. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start by talking a little bit about some of the benefits of pet ownership. These are backed up by studies that we've done some research on. So first, talking about the physical benefits of pet ownership, there's a lower risk of cardiovascular disease, cholesterol, and blood pressure levels, better survival rates after a heart attack, lower rates of hospitalization and general practitioner visits, could lead to weight loss, and could lead to decreased pain. On this slide is an older Asian appearing woman with her dog, white dog. Benefits for your mental health. Pet ownership can lead to reduced feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety, reduced tension and stress, increased feeling of social support and care, better self-esteem and self-confidence, and better self-care for yourself. And I think we saw a lot of these benefits come out during COVID. I know adoption rates went up exponentially as folks were dealing with social isolation and looking for new ways to kind of fill those areas in their lives. So there's a whole new slew of research that has come out since COVID on the benefits of pet ownership and some of the challenges of pet ownership during COVID. Um, and when I was reading through the literature, I thought about when they were talking about the challenges of pet ownership, how much of those things could be addressed using AT. Um, so I'm happy that we're covering this topic today. So the picture on the slide, one picture is of a parrot holding a bouquet of flowers. Another is a picture of a woman who is holding her phone and posing with a bunny. Okay, so again, more social benefits to pet ownership, less isolation, more opportunities for social interaction, the approachability factor. So this is something that I've experienced having a service dog. When I'm out in public with a disability, I have cerebral palsy. I use a wheelchair, and I feel like oftentimes people try to kind of keep their distance, or maybe they don't know what to say, or don't know how to behave. And I think when I'm out with my service dog, it just gives something in common to talk about if people want to approach and ask questions, um, or talk about their dog. So I just feel like it kind of breaks the barrier between myself and other people as a person with a disability. Now, of course, service dogs are working, and so I would caution from approaching a service dog team too often, but I think this can be applicable to pets as well. There are also benefits for people with autism and ADHD. So the picture on the slide is of two children reading a book and looking at a dog while they're reading the book, as if the dog is reading the book with them. So we're going to go into some specifics about assistive technology, but first I wanted to talk about just some general adaptations that you may want to think about when thinking about pet care. So the first one is think about the location of where you may be keeping a tank, a cage, a crate, or any equipment that is needed to take care of the animal that can be modified to meet the needs of the person. So sometimes things can be elevated if you're not able to reach the ground. You may be able to put a tank or some type of cage for a smaller animal on a table where it's more easily accessible. So kind of thinking about the location of where your pet needs are going to happen. Um, and then also equipment that's needed to care for your pet can be placed strategically for the ease of the owner. So for example, I've put a variety of command hooks near the wall that's right by my back door so that when I'm taking my dog for a walk, I can just grab his leash easily, clip it on him, and go. So thinking about where you're placing the things that you use to care for your pets. Some more general adaptations. Consider options for mounting ATR equipment. So we are going to talk about a few of these things, but there are lots of things that you can do to hook something onto a wheelchair using a carabiner perhaps, or um, again, having hooks near the door or the cage, or something that you may need to equipment that you may need to have on hand. Um, you can buy simple foam tubing, relatively cheap, that can be used to build up handles and grips. So, for example, if you have a fishnet, or you have brushes that have very narrow handles, or cat toys, you can use this close foam tubing and put it around those things to make a more of a built-up grip. Um, So the toothbrush, the pen, and the highlighter that are pictured on this slide are all an example of that closed cell foam tubing. You can also buy contoured ergonomic grips that are already meant to go on devices commercially as well. Um, so bump dots and puffy paint can help people who are blind or have low vision identify objects or distinguish between items like dog food or cat food or a different type of food. Bump dots are kind of exactly what they sound like. They're adhesive dots that are tactile and have bumps on them, and you can put them on certain things that you're looking to identify. They come in different colors, shapes, sizes. So one bump dot could mean cat food, two could mean dog food. Any kind of system that you would want to set up to use that would be helpful with the bump dots. There's also a product called the Pen Friend. This uses RFID stickers, which allows you to record a message. And then when you take those stickers and stick it on something, you then just need to touch the pen friend to that sticker, and it will read to you whatever you recorded about that product. So again, it can be the dog's canned food, maybe beef or poultry, or whatever you want to label. The pen friend can help with that. And then also just reminder clocks and apps can be used as an alert to feed your pet, go for a walk, um, administer medication, etc. And we're going to talk a little bit next about using smart speakers to do that as well. So, smart speakers, if you're not aware, are typically speakers that you're able to talk into that allow you to set reminders. You can find out about the weather. They have different skills that you can use. And they have a call my dog or cat skill. Um, the ones that are connected to both Google and Amazon will also allow you to order products using your voice. So that's how the smart speakers work. You use your voice to navigate through the skills. So I could tell Alexa to order cat food, and she would look at what I've ordered in the past and would ask me if I would like to order it again. So some of those things can be really helpful if you're unable to use the computer well, or are just looking for um, different skills, different things that will help calm your dog or cat. There's all sorts of things that keep getting added every day. So I encourage you to check out the Alexa app to see what skills they have for pets, or the Google app. And on the screen is a picture of um, the Echo Show, which is a Alexa device with a screen. And then there's also the Alexa Echo, which is just merely a speaker. So you can buy either one and they vary in price. Obviously, the video screen costs a bit more. Okay, so starting in to some of our specific assistive technology, we're going to start with some AT for feeding, talking first about some storage. Um, so one idea for storage for pet food could be some airtight containers that sit on a table. This is actually what I use for both of my pet foods. There's a really great brand called Vital Vaults, although the things that we are showing today in our PowerPoint we're not necessarily promoting a product. We're just kind of showing examples of things that could work. And there are many, many versions out there. So on the screen is an example of a Vital Vault. It's a rectangular shaped heavy duty container that has a vault like lid that you can screw on to the container itself. Um, Cereal containers with a handle for smaller food. I have a hard time scooping, and sometimes it's easier for me to just pour. Um, but I need to have that kind of controlled pour where not too much food is coming out at one time. So having a handle and having that spout that lets only a certain amount come out is really helpful for me. You can get food storage on wheels. So the other picture on this slide is a picture of a food container that's on forecaster wheels. It has the capacity for, I think, 40 pounds of food. It also has a bonus treat container on the top, along with this with a scoop. So this can help you move the food around to where you are and where the dog's bowls are, and roll them back into a place where perhaps it's out of your way. And then, of course, electric can openers can help with those cans that you need to open. We have other devices. One is called the 6-in-1 that allows you to pull those pull tops that are on pet cans quite a bit that you have to pull and peel off. So we have some assistive technology for that as well.
Susan,
From Sorry, go
Sus-
ahead, Nation.
yep. Susan said we have the rolling one, but my kids help with it.
Oh, well, it's good to have kids too. They're also helpful. Um, so for measuring and scooping, some ideas might be an angled measuring cup. These allow you to see the measurement from above. So for example, because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not able to kind of bend down and see that measuring cup and whether I've got it exactly at a cup or 2 cups. This allows you to view it from above, um, which is very helpful. The OXO brand also comes with a really nice built-up grip, um, which I also have on this side. The built-up scoops can help. Um, it is difficult to find some scoopers that have built-up grips, but I would say that the OXO brand is kind of known for their good grips product line. There's also large print measuring cups and measuring cups that come in different colors and oops, excuse me. I am measuring cups that come in different colors and contrasts. So that can be helpful as well. If you have low vision or some other, need. More assistive technology for feeding. So this would be more like feasting and dining. Um, Raised food bowls can be really helpful if you're in a position where you're not able to bend down to put the food bowls on the floor. Um, the elevated one that is shown on this slide actually has food storage underneath and then the bowls on top of the lid for the container. You can get these in all sorts of different heights with storage, without storage. It just depends on what you need. There are pet bowls with a pole in the middle, so you can grab the pole, pour the food in, and then put it back down on the floor. Gravity feeders allow you to put a good amount of food in at one time, and then as the food gets lower, it automatically fills the bowl. So there are pros and cons with this. One is that you don't really have to worry about filling it and feeding your pet every day, but if you're one of those folks that need to measure out your pet's food, um, these may not be the best option because they will just keep feeding and feeding your animal. Um, so that is where smart feeders are starting to come into play, and um, these are relatively new on the market. They're typically run by some sort of app where you can set up a feeding schedule for your pet. You can feed them on demand with the push of the button on the app. There are even smart feeders that have a camera so that you can watch while your dog eats. There are treat dispensers that work this way as well. One of the nice things about the smart feeders, I thought, is that they have an option. Many of them have an option where you can record your own voice. So if your dog is or cat or other animal is very trained towards your voice and a certain saying when you're going to feed them, that might be something that is very helpful. Uh, there's automatic watering bowls and water fountains, and these have been around for quite a while. Um, what I've noticed since I've done this presentation about 4 years ago, the difference in the water bowls and the water fountains now is that there's so many more options out there. They have come down in price. They include water filtration so that you can have, the best clean water for your animal. And then they come in some really cool designs now too. Like the one on this slide is a picture of a water bowl that has a flower and different streams of water are coming from the petals. Some pets like one stream, some pets like multiple streams. So I think the variety of ways that we can present water in watering bowls to pets are especially cats are helpful because cats don't typically get enough water. So a lot of vets will recommend these because it will encourage the cat to drink more water. And then, of course, there's food delivery services like Chewy, or you can set up automatic delivery on Amazon. That can be really helpful to not need to go to the store and lug, these large packages of pet foods. So I'm going to go to the next slide.
Susan mentioned that Max loves the flowing water. Susan, is Max a cat or a dog? Okay.
Yeah. Some dogs love that flowing water to the cat. I have cats that are always jumping in the sink to get water out of the sink, and those tend to be the ones that like these fountains a lot. I have a couple cats that like them, one that would just prefer to drink out of the dog bowl. So, you never know. Um, okay, going on to our probably one of the every pet owner's least favorite tasks is AT for waste management. And I'm going to start with dogs. I think it's important, especially if you use a mobility device, you're looking to use some sort of assistive technology to help you with waste management. Think about the way that you're going to approach the waste, because there are different devices that help, but it kind of depends on how you are facing and how you're approaching the waste. So the first one is a long-handled rake and bin. Those typically are just kind of like a garden rake that has a long handle. Comes with a long-handled bin, and you can rake the waste right into the bin. If you're doing large cleanup in throughout your whole yard, this might be helpful because they hold quite a lot. There are spring-loaded scoops. So these are the type that you pull up on a spring and it opens kind of a claw mouth opening. You can put a bag around those and then pick up the waste with the scoop, flip it over, take the bag out, or just kind of dump it in the trash without even having to take the bag out. I have noticed with these, they do have some now that are foldable, and this is included on your resource guide. So if you're using it on the go, it might be helpful to have a foldable one. They also have some that have the bags already in the spring-loaded scoopers and have an opening in the back that you can kind of push the bag through so the bag doesn't get away from you. Because when I use these spring-loaded scoops, that's what I have the most trouble with, is keeping the bag kind of on the scooper and not making a mess while I'm trying to move it around. If you're on the go and you just want something that enables you not to need to touch the waste, there are portable pooper scoopers, which are not long handled, but they're essentially like the clamp type that you squeeze with your hand. Again, the mouth will open. You can put a bag around it and be on your way until you get to a garbage and can throw that away. A couple scoopers that I featured on the slide. The first one is called a scooper genie, and I mentioned this one because it's used by a lot of service dog owners that I know. The scooper genie is a long-handled pooper scooper, and it has these bags that you can buy that are on a frame that are already opened, and it holds the bag open. So I attach this to my pooper scooper. I approach from the side so I can kind of take the pooper scooper, get the bag underneath the waist, and then sort of lift up, and then take the bag off of the frame and throw it away. This is one that's been helpful again to a lot of service dog owners that I know. If you're unable to pick up waste at all, I know this sounds like kind of a funny product, but another thing that you could look at is something called the Intercept. This is actually a long-handled poop scoop that is meant to go underneath your dog while they're going. So you can catch it kind of in action, and then on the pole you move down a lever toward the end, and it closes the bag and releases it from the pole once you get to the garbage, so you can throw that away. So those are just some kind of novel type of pooper scoopers in addition to some that are already or we might already be aware of. So talking about AT for waste management for cats, um, there is a really neat cat scoop. It's called Duke and Boots, which has got a handle on it. You can scoop, and then when you scoop it and turn it up 90 degrees, the solid waste falls into a compartment. And then it has a button on the handle that you can push to release that compartment. The compartments don't look very big, and they do have a few other brands that are in different sizes. But this one look the most durable, and so this may be an option if you're doing your cat boxes every day and the waste is quite little or small. This could be a good option, more ergonomic than trying to hold on to the litter scoops. Um, there are self-cleaning litter boxes. These have really changed and gone up in the market since the last 3 or 4 years since I've done this training as well. The self-cleaning litter boxes typically work by some sort of raking system where it rakes the solid waste through a filter and then puts it in a compartment that you need to change typically every 2 weeks or so, depending on the type that you get and depending on how many cats that you have. Um, so some brands of that are like PetMate has one, um, Scoop Free has one. The one thing to pay attention to if you're going to get one of these self-cleaning litter boxes is that sometimes you need to buy, in addition to the box, cartridges that go underneath the litter box. And so these are disposable. You buy them um, every few weeks, and so that is an additional cost to some of these self-cleaning litter boxes. Um, there is also the Cat Genie, which is self-cleaning and litter washing. You can hook up the Cat Genie to either your toilet or your laundry water system or your sink system. It goes through its own process of cleaning the of I'm sorry, scooping the litter, sifting through the litter, and then also when it's hooked up to your water, will wash and dry the litter. Again, these require that you buy special litter granules that work with this system, and then also a cleaning solution that's good for up to I think 120 washes. So again, thinking about that extra expense that may be involved with the self-cleaning litter boxes, I would say in terms of like new higher tech trends, there are litter boxes that again you can connect through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth that tell you how often your cat has used the litter box, whether they're in it, how dirty it might be. You can tell they have to clean the litter box at that time. And so those are really newer options that are coming out and they are coming down in price. Some of them can be quite expensive if you get like the really fancy kind that obviously the one that cleans and washes the Cat Genie, that one's about $500. But some of the other self-cleaning litter boxes are, 100 or under $100 for the main unit itself. And then clumping litter may make it easier for you to see litter if you have issues with low vision. Um, Also, there's a litter called Pretty Litter, which is meant to help you monitor your cat's health. Um, so, for example, it can tell you whether there is blood in your cat's urine, if it's a high pH, whether there's alkaline in your cat's urine, um, different things like that. And while that's helpful, I was thinking of it in terms of maybe helping somebody who had low vision. Even if it's normal, it turns a bright yellow because the litter is white. That maybe make it easier to see. So that was a thought behind that. And there's a picture of the pretty litter on the slide with litter that is blue, and a guide at the bottom about the kinds of things that it can measure. And then just having a waste container, maybe like the diaper genie, if you're scooping, can allow you to throw your waste in that container and then wrap it up in some type of plastic bag or material so that it's not smelling and it's not in your way. And so having that can kind of help in multiple different ways, as a place to dispose, but also as a place to kind of keep things clean. Okay, is there any questions so far before we go to our second, or any comments, H&A?
None in the chat. But we have a question for you. So what would you all say is the most difficult task of pet care for you? Feel free to type in the chat, use the raise hand feature, or unmute your microphone. On this screen is an image of a dog getting a bath. He is covered with soap bubbles.
I have two issues.
Okay.
One is my kids don't, well, I say my kids, but they're like 30, almost 37 and 32 and 14. So they don't always want to let him out. So it's hard here, but if we eventually move, I'm going to make sure we can have a dog door. And the other issue is my oldest son is autistic and he's in charge of, he forgets his medication sometimes. He's, he has to take the heartworm medication every month, the prevention, and the flea and tick. And it's hard for him to remember sometimes. So those are things that we need help with.
Yeah. So maybe some of those reminder apps, or setting up reminders on your phone, or if you have an Alexa device, might help with that. And if you would like to talk further about getting a dog door, there are a lot of different types, and that we didn't have time to get into all of that today, but there are types that are sort of the free type doors where your dog can come and go. There are some that are only unlock if you have a certain type of collar and it's magnetic. So there are a lot of different options for doggy doors now. Again, it's not something that I have on today's slide, but if you would like to chat, we definitely can.
Okay, thank you.
In, in our program, we can also come out and help you and your son, like with the Alexa device and setting up reminders, and kind of depending on if you already have smart.
We don't have Alexa.
Okay, so we could bring one out and you could try it out first. That is something that our program does as well, to see if that will work for you, or other devices, or if he has a smartphone or you have a smartphone, we can talk about ways to set reminders as well.
Yeah, we do have smartphones. My dog, he's gonna need more medication eventually because he's 12 now, so he'll need arthritis,
Yeah.
medication, and I don't want it forgotten. It's hard for me to do a lot of the things myself.
We do have some things for medication coming up here toward the end of the presentation.
Okay,
So
that might
hopefully-
help him, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the chat, Susan, I'm going to put our link to request a demonstration. So if you are interested in that, you can reach out to us and just let us know a good time for us to come out and assist you.
Okay, thank you. And if we do move eventually, I'm either going to make or buy a coyote jacket. That's another concern I have is we have big birds around here, eagles and hawks, even though I'm not in the country right now, and we have had coyotes in our neighborhood. So
Yeah.
his safety is my other that
Mm.
concern.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks,
So,
Susan.
so we're going to go on to some AT for grooming. Again, just one of those general adaptation tips. You may want to consider grooming by having the animal stand on the couch or a bed or a table with a sheet or a towel down, so you don't end up with fur all over your furniture. This could be a way to elevate your dog up a bit so that you can, dog or cat, so that you can do a better job grooming. So when we look at brushes and combs, there are so many available out there for helping to um, groom your dog or cat. Um, a few of them that I mentioned is one is the Furminator. This is a brush that allows you to really get the undercoat of a dog or a cat. Um, it catches a lot of the fur, and they've it has very fine comb teeth. So when you collect a lot of fur, there's also a button that you can press that'll eject the fur right into the garbage, and that's on your resource guide. The Love Glove is a pair of gloves that you can wear. They look like oven mitts, um, but they are textured with kind of like some nubbies, rubber nubbies on the hands, and it really is just a matter of petting your pet to help groom them, and then you can peel that fur off. The Zoom Groom is kind of a similar concept where it has those nubs that you can run over your animal. This is a handheld groomer. Again, you can pull the fur off really easily. Bristle brushes with a hand strap, so you can attach um, the brush right to your hand and not, lose it out of your hand. There are self groomers for cats. There's one pictured on this slide where it's again that rubber kind of nubby material that a cat can rub up against. You can mount it on the wall. They also have these made out of arches. So if your cat likes to walk through tunnels or things like that, they can walk through the arch and groom their back and their head um, by themselves. The next device is called the Chom Chom, and this is actually for you after you finish grooming. This is a really, really great device for getting fur off your clothes. I am one of those people that will buy those endless rolls of tape and lint rollers to get fur off. What I really like about this is that the Chom Chom doesn't have any type of adhesive to it at all. It uses friction and the material that is on next to the, I'm trying to think of what to call that here. Um, so there's when you rub it across you, there's almost like a velvety material that picks up a lot of the fur, and then it collects it into a compartment again where you can hit a button and it will eject the fur. And I thought it did an amazing job. Um, if you're not able to bathe your dog very often or you have trouble with that, you could look at waterless shampoos. There's also ear and eye wipes that you can buy that don't require, liquid and a cotton ball. They have cleansing wipes that can kind of keep your dog or your cat fresh between baths, or if they get really dirty. Sometimes you can save yourself on a bath by using these cleansing wipes as well. So that
Carla,
those, yep.
look, Carla said Chom Chom is so good for getting fur off where my cats lay on the sofa. And Kimberly said, I would love to try that roller for my cat.
I don't know what it is, but there's something magical in the way that they made that Chom Chom. So I definitely agree with you. Okay. So more AT for grooming. Nail clipping can be really difficult. There are some nail clippers out there that have safety blades and also electronic quick sensors. So the quick is the part of the nail that's very short for dogs. If you hit the quick, you'll think that emergency is happening because so much blood will come out. So you really want to be careful not to hit the quicken animals because it can be painful and um, cause a lot of blood. So these nail clippers have safety blades to prevent you from hitting the quick. Some of them also have electronic sensors. So they have a red, yellow, and green light on it, and it will tell you if when it's green and you're good to go. Um, grooming sling or hammock or tether, like I have shown in the upper left hand corner, allows you to put all four of your dog's paws through a sling, and then you can hang that from a pole. Um, and the one shown comes with all that you need to groom your pet, and this allows you to kind of groom them without needing to hold them, and also keeps all of their limbs free for clipping nails. Pet stairs can be a good idea for easier access. And then, since this part can be really difficult, I just wanted to mention that there are professional groomers that will do this for you. There are pet bathing stations that have pet ramps that go up into their pet baths, with all the shampoo and all the grooming things that you may need right there in the store. So usually they're in a pet store, and they're do it yourself. So everything that you need is there, and you don't need to haul everything or buy tons of things to clean your pets. It's just there for you. And then also mobile groomers are available depending on your area. Usually just a quick search of the internet for mobile groomers in your area will let you know what's available. Um, so some grooming, oral care type assistive technology. A regular animal toothbrush can be kind of difficult, especially if you have an animal that doesn't like their teeth brushed. There are these rubber fingertip toothbrushes that you can use with your finger to brush that may be a little easier to get around your animal's mouth. Um, there are now electric pet toothbrushes um, that vary in price. One thing that I noticed about the ones that are a little bit more costly is that they have very low but light vibration or no vibration and very little sound to like alarm your pet. So I think that is why the cost is a little bit higher. I have not tried an electric toothbrush with my dog or cat. I'm not sure they would go for that, but it's an idea. Um, enzymatic pet toothpaste is another idea. When I was going through service dog training with Adler, they mentioned to us that enzymatic toothpaste works with the dog's saliva. So the important thing is to be able to get the toothpaste on the dog's teeth. And then once the saliva begins to mix with the toothpaste, it does some cleaning in itself without the actual need to brush. So it doesn't take over for brushing, but it helps if you're unable to do that. It kind of does some of the work for you. There are dental chews and dental toys for both dogs and cats. There are water supplements that you can add to pets' water that can freshen breath, help with tartar control, dental care. Some of them are formulated for dogs, some are for cats, and some are for both. And then there is specially formulated food for oral care as well. So pictured on this slide is a fingertip toothbrush, and there's also a picture of a dental chew toy that's in the shape of a cactus. It's got those nubs on it, and it's showing a dog chewing on that toy, cleaning his teeth using kind of those nubby features of the product. Okay, AT for play. Um, if your dog is a dog that likes to chew on things or tug on things, they do have tug toys with handles and large grips. So being able to hold on to that. My dog is way stronger than I am, and can get that away from me every time. So having one with a grip may help you to hang on to that. There is a lot of assistive technology to help with fetching with dogs. There in the upper right hand corner is a product called the Fetch It. It basically is a long-handled device that has a tennis ball on the end, and it's very lightweight. You can throw it above your head and throw the ball, and it kind of whips the tennis ball out. Um, and so that's one for fetching. Chuckit has a variety of other devices too for fetching and play. So in your resource guide, it's just linked to the ball, the tennis ball thrower, but they also have frisbees and water toys and all sorts of things. Um, there are automatic tennis ball launchers, which I remember when I did this presentation several years ago, these were very, very expensive. And I thought if I could buy my dog anything, this is what I would want. I did notice that they've come down in price. You can get them for under $100, depending on, the type that you get. So these, you put the balls in the bucket, and then the launcher launches the balls typically about 10 feet. And then unfortunately it doesn't retrieve the ball for you. Your dog will need to do that, but then they reinsert it into the bucket, and then it'll launch it again. And a lot of dogs learn to put their balls in the bucket and then launch it and bring it back and put it in the bucket. So those can be a lot of fun. I don't know if I mentioned the excuse me, the frisbees with the grips. If you search for frisbees for aggressive chewers, this is actually where I found the ones that have the grips. Instead of having a solid frisbee, there are some holes in the middle so that you're able to grab it a little bit better. I have one shown on the screen that kind of has a rope toy. And some canvas in the middle that acts as the frisbee type. There are a lot of different types of these as well. There are also interactive dog toys and puzzles for independent play. So there are a variety of these, but typically they are some type of um, plastic toy that you can sit on the floor. It has a variety of different doors or sliders or things that your dog needs to do in order to get little treats or dog food from these compartments, and they come in different difficulty levels. So so you can choose one that's very, very difficult. You can choose one that's easier if your dog is just getting used to it. There are also balls that you can put little treats in, and as the dog rolls it around, they get treats, which encourages them for independent play. So lots of cool stuff in terms of interactive toys and puzzles for dogs.
So I do want to take a moment and acknowledge that it is about to be 1 o'clock. So if those of you that may have to leave at 1, again, this recording will be available for review. And then for those of you that can stay on, we have a couple more slides to go through. So thank you.
So AT for play, they're cat dancers, fishers. I really like these because they're lightweight. Sometimes they're just on a little piece of wire. So they're very lightweight, but they can be really adaptable, unpredictable, can bounce very easily. And there are a lot of these that you can actually mount to the wall or mount to the floor that have a suction cup. I think I have that on a next slide. And then there are also automated cat toys. There are play chase circuits. I have a picture in the top left is a ball tower, where the cat can just bat the ball around the circular tower. The balls don't come out of that. So it just is a lot of fun for them to play and watch it spin around. They do have automatic cat dancers. So these are either electronic or battery operated, and they move in unpredictable ways, and you don't need to move the cat dancer at all. There's laser toys, which are both handheld and tabletop. So you could set the laser on the tabletop, and it has all sorts of different patterns that your cat can chase. I also found a collar with a laser on it, which could be a lot of fun with cats if they have it attached to themselves. And then a lot of these toys are also battery and USB rechargeable. So, for example, the picture of the automated cat dancer um, below the ball track is one that is USB operated or USB chargeable and moves on its own, and so little that you need to do with that. Again, toys can be mounted to the floor at a table. Um, Nylon tunnels and paper bags can also be a really fun way of playing and scratching. Um, so I have some other products that I'm going to describe that are in the pictures. There's a wall-mounted cat scratcher with a feather toy attached to it. There is a wall-mounted catnip ball. It has 4 different catnip balls that you can stick on the wall, and cats can just lick, and you can also replace those inserts into that device so that you can replenish that. Um, Again, we have the automatic cat dancers. And then Asian and I just had to include this other picture in the lower left. It is a hat that you can buy for your cat that has googly eyes on the top and some sort of antenna that hangs over the cat's face that has a toy. Um,
Susan said that hood is hilarious.
It's hilarious. We laughed about it all day yesterday. I'm not even gonna lie. I was thinking there's no way I could get this on my cat, but I would love to try. And I just want you guys to know that that's out there.
And Kimberly also mentioned that her cat uses cardboard boxes to scratch.
Oh yes, yes. Harbor boxes are amazing. So moving on to some AT for walks. There are bike attachments for leashes that work also really well as wheelchair attachments. So you can see, for example, in the lower right hand corner is an attachment that clamps to a wheelchair. It's in a U shape and then leads to the leash so that you could use that hands free. Retractable leashes allow you to determine how far your dog or cat can walk. Um, there are wearable leashes. Most often, these are the type that go around your waist. Is what I found. Most products were meant to go around the waist that you could be hands free, but you have it. There are also some that go around the wrist, I believe. There is the handy leash, which is pictured um, in the kind of the middle of the slide. It is a kind of neoprene glove that goes around your thumb and your hand and attaches to a leash attachment so that you can have that secure around your hand if you're not able to grip the leash well. Um, there are cat leashes and cat harnesses. So in the upper middle of the slide, you can see a picture of my cat Kamaji. I tried the walking harness with him. He looks oh so happy, doesn't he? And he actually walked around in it a little bit and sat down. These are meant to kind of cradle your whole cat's body and be harder for them to escape from, because a lot of times if you just use a leash with your cat's collar, they can break away from that collar, and then then you've lost your cat. There are also outdoor play tunnels that you can get for cats that you can have in the entrance of your home, for example, and have a tunnel going through your backyard so they have some time to experience the outdoors in a safe environment. And again, all these things are on your resource list. So AT for lifting, I just wanted to mention that there are pet ramps and pet stairs that you can buy commercially. I've also seen people that have built their own pet stairs according to how they need. These are becoming more and more popular as pets age and people see the need for helping to get their pets in and out of cars and up and off furniture. And then finally, we have AT for pet health. So Susan, I believe, was asking about some things for giving pills. Susan, they do have pill ejectors. These are almost like syringe type devices that you can give your there's syringes that you can put the pill in, and then once you get it into the side of your cat or dog's mouth, you can push that syringe and it'll kind of pop it into the back of their throat. And then they just need to swallow. There are pet specific pill boxes that can remind you whether or not your pet has taken their pill or not. These typically have a picture of a dog or a cat on it so that you won't get them mixed up with your pill boxes. Um, you can set pet specific medication reminders on your phone. There are even apps that do this for your pets. And then pill pockets, if you're not aware, are an edible product that you can kind of mold around. They have kind of a clay moldy consistency that you can mold around a pill. And these work really well with dogs who like treats. To them, it's just a treat. And um, a lot of dogs like the pill pockets, and that's the easiest way to give them a pill. So I
Susan said
am.
the pill box is what we need.
Hmm?
Susan said the pill box is what they need.
Yeah, yeah. And let me know if you have trouble finding that after looking at the resource list, Susan. We can help you find what you're looking for. So I just wanted to mention some resources that are out there if you're not aware. There's mobile veterinary clinics that will come to your home and do basic pet care services like grooming, spay or neuter, um, diagnostic, take a look at your pet if they're sick. Some can do very basic surgery, euthanasia, if you need them to come and put your pet down. So that's a resource. There is no central location that lists all the mobile veterinary clinics. So what I suggest is that you type in mobile veterinary clinic, your area, and then see what comes up. There is some in the Tri-County area here in Lansing, many in Detroit, a few in Grand Rapids that I saw. It really just depends on your area. And then if you're running into trouble taking care of your pet and need somewhere to get pet food, many organizations also have pet pantries. Again, this is specific to your area, so checking out pet pantries in your area might be a good idea if you are in a position where you might not be able to afford your pet food that month. Um, there's a resource on there from the ADA about the difference between service animals and some emotional support animals. I just add this because this is a question that I get a lot as a service dog owner, what the difference is. And I know we're short on time, so I'm not going to kind of go through all of that. But there is a difference in the way that they are trained to perform a specific task that's laid out in this article that will help you understand. And then I also wanted to mention the Michigan Assistive Technology Loan Fund. This is a loan fund through our partners at United Cerebral Palsy Michigan. Um, they have loans available, and they also have mini loans if you have a product that you're interested in purchasing, but don't have the funding. This may be something that you can check out. I know they are they try to make the loans um, affordable and kind of base it around your budget and what you're able to pay at the time. And so that may be helpful to take out a short-term loan to pay for something that you need for your pet. And that is the end of what I have. Does anybody have any questions?
Kimberly said, are there any products that a wheelchair user can find to protect themselves from dogs when walking?
Mm, Kimberly, I'd have to One second, I need a drink. I'm gonna. There are products called SCAT that are like SCAAT that are canned air that are they have a sensor based on movement. So I would say like canned air might be one way to kind of scare a pet off. And again, they have these ones that are specially formulated for pets and they're pet safe. That may be something that you could look into. I hadn't really thought about protection from, other animals, and that may be something that I need to look into a little bit. But the canned air might be one idea. Also, anything that might be able to make a loud noise that to scare the pet off might be another option. That just off the top of my head, that's what I'm coming up with.
Susan mentioned water spraying bottle might help.
Yes, I have one of those around my house for when my animals are places they shouldn't be. So
any other questions? In the chat, I did put the link to request a device demonstration. So if there was anything on our list, Kimberly asked if we have any of the what was the word? The things that the cat was on, the harnesses to help with like holding the cat up when we're clipping nails. Do we have those in inventory?
We don't have that yet, but we do have it on our wish list. So we were kind of waiting to see what people were interested in when we did this training to kind of gauge what we were going to buy. But I think that's something that we are looking to get. So if you're interested, it's something that we can take back to our program and say, we had somebody that was interested in this. This might be something we want to keep in our inventory.
Okay. And if there's not any other, okay, Caleb mentioned one barrier for a person I work with is moving larger items. So taking a bag of soiled litter out to the trash or dumpster. She utilizes a cane and is prone to potentially lose her balance. Any ideas to support this practice safely?
I'm actually wondering, thinking back to those food containers on wheels, if you just left the food container empty and put the bag in the food container and then wheeled it out to the garbage or something else that's on wheels. You have any thoughts, Asian?
I think wheeling it out. Yeah, I think that's what comes to the top of my head too, using those things on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kimberly, so was there anything on cleaning a kitty litter box for those in wheelchairs? You had long handled litter box?
Actually, I was not able to find a long handled litter. This is something that we need to invent. Because I wasn't able to find it. We do have a product called the Sand Dipper that is used in our recreation program for people who like to search for rocks or glass on the beach. And I thought, oh, this would be wonderful. But apparently we've already tried it and it didn't do well with litter. So, and I have looked them up and I have found some that are longer handled, but they're not long handled like on a pole. So that is something that I am still in search for.
Susan said that she's on an older adult advisory council and she'd like to mention this presentation there. Yes, Susan, please share if you want us to come out and talk to your group. We have a lot of different topics and other presentation categories that we can present on, or we can just give them like an overview of what our program has to offer. Caleb said that they had a similar thought to that suggestion when you mentioned the rolling containers. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you know if I think of anything else.
Yeah. So everyone, I am going to put our survey in the chat again. If you all could please take a minute to fill that out. We get feedback if you have any suggestions or you would like to see a topic covered for AT. Please make sure in that survey that you let us know if there's any other things that you're interested in or would like us to present on. If you want to reach out to Laura, I'll put Laura's email in the chat as well. If you do have questions, or wanted to discuss anything else or talk to Laura about a demonstration.
And we really appreciate you filling out that survey. We have funders that we need to report back to, and they like to see what we're doing and how we're doing it. And so that really helps us give good feedback to our funders about how things are working. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes to fill out the survey.
Laura, I think the next slide has like all of like our main office contact information.
You're right.
Oh, next.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Kimberly, I just want to thank and applaud all the people that come to show me things and look items up. Thank you. You all are superstars. Thanks, Kimberly. I think we've been out to help you out with a couple of devices a couple of different times. So we appreciate you utilizing our services and being great to work with. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great week and have fun with your pets.
Yes.
And I hope you found this helpful today.
Thanks, Kimberly. I haven't been out with you yet, but I'm sure that everyone misses you too. Okay, I'm going to stop going live and stop the recording.